Ice Beam leaves Annihilape deep in the red health range and Scolipede re-enters the arena. This game is looking completely over. I'm trying to think of a win con for my opponent. I'm guessing they're hoping I either have a heart attack or forget to shield. Do you know what? I don't even think that's Ice Beam range. Trainer, you enjoy yourself. Scolipede hangs on, reaches the X-scissor, and that is going to be all she wrote. Welcome back to the channel. Yesterday, I returned to the YouTube platform after almost 2 months off. I set a challenge saying if my video got 500 likes, I'll upload back-to-back days. Honestly, a huge thank you to everyone. You completely smashed that target. I think we're over 700 likes now. So here we are with back-to-back uploads, and this one is just what I love. Some absolute craziness for a team that makes pretty much no sense, but we are featuring 2 buff Pokemon and of course a triple Shadow team to boot. If you are a returning subscriber, you'll know there's 2 things that I love, Shadow Pokemon and Spice, and today we're kind of ticking both them boxes, as a Pokemon that I really wanted to try out was Scolipede. The issue is, team building with a Pokemon that's ranked like 700 with PvP can be somewhat problematic. Another Pokemon I really wanted to try out was Annihilape, using Low Kick. To be honest, these two kind of cover each other reasonably well, with the exception of Flying types and Psychic types. However, in yesterday's upload, I didn't really see too many of either of them. So I'm hoping if I don't believe in them, they cannot hurt me. Outside of said Flying and Psychic types, I guess I'm pretty weak to a Ghost type too. That is where the Angry Alligator, Shadow Feraligatr comes in. And this definitely gives me one glaring weakness for the entire line of 3. If I see a normal / flying type, something like a Noctowl or a Pidgeot, I guess I just lose. But do I really care? Not particularly. So with all that being said, without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, I actually lead Scolipede into an opposing Annihilape. This one is still opting for counter as opposed to Low Kick. The counters are resisted, so that's definitely advantageous, meaning the fast move pressure pretty non-existent and they are slower to charge moves. Scolipede says, put some respect on my name. It will tank the Rage Fist and the boosted counters and reach to the part in Aqua Tail. To my surprise, forcing the opponent all shields down. For the duration of today's video, I will be safe switching into Feraligatr. However, in battle number 1, I'm going to send out Annihilape instead, as well, a 2-0 shield advantage, and the counters are double resisted, whereas Feraligatr will get torn apart. The opponent stays in, Rage Fist removes them from the field of play, and we get the boost. The opponent then sends out Wigglytuff, aka the annoying Marshmallow, fire off the boosted Ice Punch. Is Ice Punch the correct move? Probably not. I think I would run close combat, however, again, I'm poor on TMs, I haven't been playing, so I'm just stuck with whatever I've got. Looks like I'm not doing the best job of commentating this battle. However, you eagle-eyed viewers would notice that Wigglytuff did bank a Swift before sending out Moltres. The opponent might think they're playing fantastically, but all I'm going to say is, trainer, you've gifted me the easiest win con of my GBL career. Am I washed up? Probably, but I'm still going to farm up to 100 energy. Ice Beam removes Moltres from the field of play. That dumbass Marshmallow re-enters the arena, is straight in and straight out, and I take that game. GG's that opponent. Heading into the next battle, we see Greninja in the lead position. Typing-wise, a pretty good matchup for me. However, we do get outpaced, so rather than tank a Hydro Cannon onto Scolipede, we're going to catch it onto Feraligatr, aka the Angry Alligator. The opponent sends out Venusaur. I look to fire off the Ice Beam, but unfortunately lose CMP. Feraligatr made a very brief cameo appearance. Today's team is hella glassy, so these battles are going to fly by. I send back out Scolipede, overfarm as much as I physically can, fire off the X-scissor and remove Venusaur from the field of play. The opponent sends out Talonflame. Oh my days. That is honestly one of the worst timing of a charge move I've ever seen. I think my Nan probably could have threw a charge move at better time than I did there. And for all you wondering, she actually died in 1998, almost 30 years ago. Embarrassing. However, what you really want to do, 2 turn into 5 turn. Don't do what I did and throw after 3. You want to throw 2 quick moves or 7. Or I guess you can throw either 9 or 4 if you're in a bit of a pickle. But definitely don't throw 6. That was absolutely horrendous. Despite that god-awful charge move timing, we are still going to escape with a dub. For those of you looking to improve, I'd say charge move timing is absolutely paramount. If you're going to throw charge moves like I did there, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but you are going to be forever ace. In the next battle, we see Clefable in the lead position. It's very, very nice for my opponent to stay, and this is definitely where the team wants to see it. I did respect the incoming Meteor Mash with the first protection of the game before the opponent pivots into Shadow Drapion. Oof, look at that X there. Heavy neutral damage, doing around 2/3 of the HP. I'll then send out Annihilape. tank the crunch, look for the low kick farm down. Unfortunately, unable to get it, so throw the Rage Fist on CMP, winning CMP and removing Drapion from the field of play. Back out comes Clefable, the Angry Ape still not done, gonna fire off the boosted Rage Fist that lands for heavy neutral damage. I send out the Angry Alligator, anticipating being able to Shadow Claw farm down before the Moonblast is reached. The opponent doesn't even commit to it, settle for the Meteor Mash, force some Chip and Dip before sending out Shelgon. Again, I'm going for the Chip and Dip, firing off the Hydro Cannon, which the opponent respects and protects shield before sending out Scolipede. Scolipede gonna fire off the X-Scissor. X-Scissor forces the final protect shield on the charge attack priority. We've already seen just how hard Scolipede hits. The question now becomes, is an X-Scissor gonna remove this Shelgon from the field of play? Moment of truth, the X is locked, it's loaded, bang, there it is. Shout out the Go Oxford U for that quote. I Poison Sting farm down Clefable, and we take that game. In the next battle, we see Wigglytuff, aka the annoying Marshmallow, in the lead position. I'm going to throw 7 Poison Stings and the Aqua Tail, looking to fake a Sludge Bomb. We haven't got it, but you've always got to fake it till you make it. The opponent craps their pants, putting up that Protect Shield with Scolipede, so incredibly spammy. All in the next Aqua Tail. To my surprise, the opponent double shielded. Well, actually, is it a surprise? Who doesn't shield these annoying tap-tap charmers? People that use Wigglytuff are brain dead. Yes, I said what I said, despite it being like the highest used Pokemon in the regional championship. Unpopular opinion, them championships would be somewhat more exciting if people didn't use such nonsense, boring-ass Pokemon. Anyway, returning to the commentary. We end up seeing a simultaneous swap with a battle of water types for Alligator. The Angry Alligator going to be moving the Steel Penguin from the field of play with the resisted Hydro Cannon. Wigglytuff re-enters the arena, going to fire off the Swift. I'm going to attempt to snipe. Scolipede, go quickly! The opponent has the same idea and send out Primeape. Primeape going to win CMP, firing off the boosted Rage Fist. Once again, we're sitting in a fantastic position. All we've got to do is manage energy well enough. Annihilape with that shield type, I'm going to be investing here on the boosted Rage Fist. I don't want to play to CMPs. I'm just going to throw 3 quick moves and my Rage Fist. This Rage Fist will move in Primeape from the field of play. Big brother knocks out little brother. The annoying Marshmallow re-enters the arena and once again is going to be vanquished back to his Pokeball. That's 2 Wigglytuff sight-ins and 2 Wigglytuff defeated. Let's fucking go. Heading into the next battle. It's a neutral matchup where Scolipede stares down Cradily. Of course, optimal fast move time and 2 turn into 3 turn is 1, 4 or 7. But Cradily users always spam that bloody Rock Tomb as soon as they get it. So throw on 6, winning CMP. And of course, getting my charge off before I'm inevitably debuffed this time. I'm just going to throw 4, look to throw 1, and then catch a Rock Tomb onto Feraligatr. High risk, high reward. It doesn't quite work out for me. The opponent bank their energy and send out Mandibars. Despite Feraligatr hitting for resisted with the quick move of Shadow Claw, I'd much rather be Feraligatr than Angry Alligator in this matchup. We actually have a damage output, whereas they hit somewhat like a wet noodle. You can see a Hydro Cannon into an Ice Beam enables me to win the 0 shield scenario. Feraligatr removes Mandibars from the field of play. I'm sure that Pokemon's supposed to be one of the bulkiest one in the meta, but Shadow Feraligatr might have had a little something to say about that. Out comes Azumarill. Feraligatr still not done. Fires off the Hydro Cannon. The opponent then tries to snipe unsuccessfully. Feraligatr absolutely popping off. Cradily has all the energy in the world. Of course, I send that Annihilape. Are they going to look to see what comes in? Of course they're not. They're just going to spam Rock Tomb and try and debuff me. Annihilape. You're just going to use the damage sponge. We tank the Rock Tomb and the Ice Beam. Scolipede re-enters the arena. I'm trying to think, Mr. Opponent, what is your wink on? If you're hoping I had a heart attack, let me tell you something. I'm still alive and well. Or potentially you're thinking, don't shield. Do you know what, trainer? I'll give you that chance. Does Ice Beam knock out? Nope, Azumarill, you're pathetic. Your damage output, pitiful. We're going to shield flex and take the dub. And Jamie Finn emerges victorious. Heading into the next one. Apparently today is the day of fairies, but really surprisingly, I haven't seen any Florges. It's supposed to be in Wigglytuff and Clefable. I'm guessing like Jonkus, Axe and Henry. Someone put out this bloody Clefable video. Thanks guys, because it's making Scolipede look far better than it actually is. Oh my days, we've seen yet another Rock Tomb thrown at a fighting type. Guys, just throw the correct bloody move. For the love of God, stop spamming out Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb actually got nerfed this season as well. There's slightly less damage. Not that I can really complain, to be honest. We've got the correct alignment that I want. I'm going to send back out Scolipede. The opponent pivots into Jellicent. And here comes Feraligatr, aka the Angry Alligator. I'm really thinking this is probably going to be a Surf, but better to be safe than sorry. Of course there's Surf, but that bait will not be saving this opponent's fate. The fast move pressure. Far too much from Feraligatr. You can see just the Shadow Claw damage alone has already got him down below the half health range. Feraligatr continuing to grin away, spamming out Hydro Cannon after Hydro Cannon, very quickly forcing the opponent all shields down. At this point, even Scolipede can remove Jellicent. There is yet another bait. The opponent then attempts to catch onto Clefable. I bank the Hydro Cannon. Scolipede fires off the Aqua Tail, removing Clefable from the field of play. Jellicent also going to get knocked out by Scolipede, and it takes back-to-back victims. What a weird turn of events. Scolipede knocks out Jellicent, and we're able to emerge victorious. GG's to that opponent. In the next battle, we see the only sort of crime that I do support, and that is shadow on shadow crime. Don't go robbing stuff or beating up old people. That is definitely not the way to live your life. We end up throwing the X-Scissor on CMP, winning CMP, but you can see that a neutral crunch actually did more than my X-Scissor. I then send out Feraligatr, and here comes a Azumarill. Shadow Feraligatr's usage has really fallen off. A lot of people seem to be preferring the bulk of the regular Feraligatr, but I think this is going to be a great example of why I love the Shadow. It just makes such quick work of Azumarill. The Shadow Claws chunk through the HP, and these Hydro Cannons don't look all that resisted. Feraligatr unleashes the next one, already at the third, and if the opponent wants to keep Azumarill alive, they are going to be forced to invest that protection. They do exactly that. They now receive the energy for the play rough, so why not catch back onto Scolipede? Remember me, body, the opponent dumps their energy, Scolipede tanks the energy, and Feraligatr remains at almost full HP. It looks like the opponent anticipated Feraligatr re-entering the arena, so they sent out Drapion, anticipating me being unable to Shadow Claw farm and down, but jokes on them, has actually sent out Annihilape. Annihilape manages to counter farm down Drapion, gets some energy together, and here comes Corviknight. Air Cutter might be super effective, but one is simply not going to get the job done. We tank the damage, fire off yet another Rage Fist, and very quickly force the opponent a final protection. The opponent does make a very nice catching back onto Azumarill. But unfortunately, it's simply too little too late. I send out Feraligatr. We're able to Shadow Claw farm down with that shield to hide behind. The opponent recognises they cannot win the battle, and they concede the match. GG's to that opponent. Heading into the next battle, we see the Steel Penguin in the lead position. A god-awful matchup as I'm completely wall with Scolipede, so I say switch into Feraligatr. Looks like the opponent going to go for some chip into action, fire off the Dual Peck before probably switching out. Much to my surprise, the opponent opts to stay in, so I'm going to overfarm as much as I physically can and rip off a Hydro Cannon. You can see just the Shadow Claw and Hydro Cannon combination has got them deep into the red health range. Feraligatr this time uses a complete damage sponge. I'm going to wait on my timer and attempt to low kick farm down before they're able to reach another charge move. Annihilape able to get that low kick farm down and a very nice running start. Out comes Altaria. No messing around. I'm going to go straight for the Ice Punch. Ice Punch able to land massive damage, and we pivot into Scolipede. The opponent banks their energy and end up catching the Aqua Tail onto Marowak, which is definitely fine for me. It would have been resisted into Altaria as opposed to super effective onto Marowak. We fire off yet another Aqua Tail, forcing the first protection of the game. The opponent is going to look to dump energy. Bone Club, Rock Slide, whatever they throw will be lethal. They go for the Bone Club. And I think my win con from here is just going to be to fully counter farm them down. I don't know why I keep saying counter. Low kick. Jamie, get your head together. Am I able to low kick farm down? Yes, I am. We've both got a shield apiece. However, I'm doubled up. So this first Rage Fist should be forcing the Protect Shield, which it does. I can now shield up the incoming Sky attack. Rage Fist would definitely get the job done, but why not throw the Ice Punch? Is it necessary? Probably not, but we throw it regardless and take that game. GG's to that opponent. In the next battle, I was going to say it's a yikes lead, but when I saw that, I was thinking, oh crap. How do I beat Jirachi? Great question. When I figure it out, I'll let you know. I say switch into Feraligatr. That in theory is my only answer. The opponent forced to protect shield, then send out Big Man Blastoise. And it's safe to say things have gone somewhat from bad to worse. With shields down, we can kind of do something against that Jirachi, but I'm unable to force a protect shield in the mid-game matchup, and honestly, I'm thinking this is going to be such an annihilation. I send out Scolipede to get a running start. I guess the opponent hopefully thinks they can tank this move. I was really hoping they didn't shield. We do reach the departing charge move. Again, I was hoping the opponent dumped their energy. They did not. We forced the opponent all shields down. Have I got a chance here? Potentially. I guess it kind of depends what's in the back. The opponent here is doubled up on Doom Desire, so I'm going to shield one. Hope the opponent spams the move, which they do. Okay, hold up. Please, what do I need in the back? I don't know, something super weak to Annihilate. I think potentially if I had close combat here, I could close combat this, which would do more than non-stab Ice Punch, and then Rage Fist Jirachi. Unfortunately, Ice Punch, despite being super effective, it doesn't get the job done, and this one ends in defeat. GG's that opponent. Heading into the next battle, I see Primeape in the lead position. A decent matchup for me. It gets better the fewer shields are in players. The opponent can kind of just start shielding and vamping themselves up. The opponent actually fires off the Rage Fist, then make the pivot, interfere it. I bank on my energy and send out Annihilate. I think there'll be stupid debate here. I am going to shield up the Trailblaze. I'm then going to arm up as much as I physically can, fire off the Ice Punch and look to remove them from the field of play. The Primeape doesn't have a charge move bank, so I've got residual energy, good to go. I'm looking top right, see Primeape re-enter the arena and go straight for said Rage Fist. Rage Fist, forced to protection. The opponent is going to be forced to throw. They actually throw immaculate timing on CMP, winning CMP. Rage Fist removes Annihilate from the field of play. I send out Scolipede. The opponent once again goes for the catch, but this time they catch the Aqua Tail onto Skeledirge, where it is super effective. I send out for the opponent like, nope, you've got me. Kind of RPS in my favour. The algorithm giveth and the algorithm taketh. In the next battle, whoa. What the hell has this Blastoise been on? Whatever gear this thing's on needs to give me some. Made my gym progress to go somewhat better. If I'm taking the amount of gear this thing's on, it is fucking massive. Not only is this massive Blastoise going to be problematic in the mid-game matchup, if you see a Jellicent in the lead, we're kind of pretty screwed as well, as I am ABA weak into it, and again, I'm forced to kind of switch into my only counter. The opponents actually played this mid-game matchup so scuffed, they end up double shielding Blastoise and resisting moves, kind of opening up the door for me to do something. We tank the Hydro Cannon, pivot into an Annihilape, and look to start getting an energy lead. We know Jellicent will be returning, but they now have no shields to hide behind. This is almost certainly going to be the Surf bait. Am I going to call it? No, even a Surf would do too much. I'm going to invest a Protect Shield, throw one Karate Chop. I can call this fast move. Everything other than the move I'm actually using, which is Low Kick. I fire off the first Rage Fist. We reach the second Rage Fist on CMP, winning CMP, and we're able to finally remove Jellicent from the field of play. The opponent's final Pokemon is Fortress. We're already 2-stage boosted. I don't think they're going to appreciate the incoming Rage Fist, which they certainly did not. And I don't even think Sandtomb's going to knock me out. Potentially it will. I'm not entirely sure. No, it does not. Annihilate. Able to hang on, reach yet another Rage Fist, and sweep the entire team. GG's that opponent. And that is just about going to wrap things up for today's video. Of course, these battles were for entertainment purpose only. I definitely would not recommend this team with so many shared weaknesses. However, I think Scolipede is actually far better than the PvPoke ranking. I checked at the start of the season, it was like 600-700. Haven't been on PvPoke since. Potentially it's rose a little bit, but either way, it is very niche spice. Despite almost everyone now preferring the regular variant of Feraligatr, I think today was a fantastic showcase of just how good Shadow Feraligatr can be. Don't let people deceive you. If you're here for a good time, not a long time, the Shadow variant is where you should put your money on. This thing is so much fun and really does offer absolutely absurd damage output. Annihilape on Low Kick. I'm not really sure if I prefer it in the Great League. I actually do prefer it in the Ultra League. And trust me, that Annihilape signature Double Dark Poison team will be coming soon. A massive thank you for all the support on yesterday's video. I'm actually going to be doing shoutcasts again, so if you want to be featured on the channel, the battle submission form is linked down below. And I just would like to say a massive thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.